Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. A couple weeks ago, Joyce from Elite Expressions contacted me about doing a glass collaboration together. We're going to do it on one glass, one theme, two different glass artists. It gives you the opportunity to learn a different perspective on doing the single theme and using the same glass, but our art styles are two very different styles. So this is a learning experience for you to be able to see different ways that different artists produce their works of art. And hopefully you'll get something from this. And just to show you, the glass is this glass. This is my first time using this type of glass, so this is a brand new experience for me. I hope I do it justice, and we'll see how it goes. I used painter's tape here to pick a spot on the back of the glass, and I used two diagonal lines and went down each side. This effect is going to create a V shape, like say if the glass had a neckline, and you want to make sure that the ending point at the bottom of the glass is going to line up with the point that you have at the top of the glass in the back. See, it's just you try to get as close as you can, and I use an X-Acto knife to trim the bottom edge right there. Please be very careful doing this, especially using that sharp edged razor on the X-Acto knife. And what I'm doing is I'm trimming the bottom so I don't have that overlap at the base. Be very careful, take your time. I learned my lesson because I was rushing trying to film, and yes, right there I stabbed my finger. So again, take your time while you're doing that. Be very careful. You can't see it because the glass is covering it, but yes, my finger's bleeding, so it's very dangerous if you don't be careful. So I'm just trimming the glass. And see how that cut off the edges, so it's a nice little V right there. And it's going all the way around, even line. I use a sheet of parchment paper to protect my surfaces, and when I'm doing glitter, I feel like it flows off the parchment paper easier than anything else, newspaper or whatnot. It's just more smooth. So here I am, I'm putting a little Mod Podge in the bowl. You don't need a whole lot, just enough to cover the glass. You're going to be doing this several times because you're going to be using at least 2 to 3 layers for this project, depending on your personal preference. Okay. So here's our glass. We applied the painter's tape, and you're going to cover the surface that's underneath the painter's tape. Not the top part, that's where your mouth will go. So we're just concentrating on this bottom half of the glass. So there's my acrylic brush. I'm not going to use a foam brush for this project because I found while I've been doing glasses, I like the feel of this type of brush. To me, it does a more even coat. And now here's a decision-making moment. That's a fine pink glitter, or there's a chunky glitter. So you have to decide whether either you want to do a chunky or a fine. I have a little, that's those two same glitters. I'm just deciding whether or not I want to add that glitter to combine the two, but it looks like one is full, so I couldn't. So here we are. I'm either going to use the chunky glitter or the fine glitter, and I've decided on the chunky. That way you don't have to use as many coats as you would with the fine glitter. Chunky has a better coverage, however, it's a little more different to handle. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to apply my glue to the glass. Nice even strokes, generous amounts, especially because of the fact that you're using a chunky glitter. So you want to use a lot of glue, but still try to make it even. That's why I like this acrylic brush. So I've covered the entire glass with the generous amount of glue. I'm about to apply the chunky glitter. You want to make sure that you cover the whole wet glue surface, so you want to work rather somewhat quickly because you don't want it to dry out and miss some spots. So I'm just going to speed it up a little bit right there. And that's with the glass fully glittered with the first layer. Of course you see the white spots because it's still wet. But that's what our first layer is done. That's what it's looking like. And I'm going to show you how easy the cleanup is with the glitter using the parchment paper right here. So I'm going to set that glass aside. And see how you just shake it a little bit and it all comes to the center. And then you fold it. I'm going to make a mess regardless because that's just how glitter is. I'm sorry, I try. But it's just, to me, the parchment paper with the waxy, or you could use wax paper or something like that, it just makes the glitter flow off a little bit better. But like I said, I'm messy anyway. That's just how I craft. I have my certain crafting shirts that have spots on it, so that's just how it is. So I'm just demonstrating how easy that was to put the glitter in the glass, and there's another look at what we're looking like. So I'm going to set this aside until it's dry enough for me to handle. We're going to add another coat of glitter using the same process. Okay, so this is semi-dry. It's not completely dry, but it's dry enough for us to handle. So I'm just going to take a fresh layer of glue. I clean my brush off. And I'm going to pat on another layer of glue on top of the first layer. Go all the way around. Make sure you try to make it even as possible. Generous amount, because this is where the new thick glitter is going to have to stick to. So don't be shy, put glue on there. It's going to look like an oatmeal-y mess, but that's fine because you want to make sure that that second layer of glitter adheres. And here I'm going to apply it. Make sure you get all the wet spots. Speed that up a little bit. Applying all the glitter wet spots. You want to have full coverage. And that's what it looks like after the second coat. See, it's still pretty. Still glittery, nice and shiny. Set that aside. Okay, this is a tricky part. We're going to remove the packing tape because it's getting ready to be time to put the sealant on top of the glitter. So I don't like to do it with the packing tape still on there. So if you want to, at this point, add another layer of glitter, you can, and follow the same process, and then remove the tape. But because we use the chunky glitter, I only go 2 coats. So what I'm doing is I'm lifting the tape. And now this isn't going to be as pretty as it would be if we had used the fine glitter. See, there's a chunk right there that's not lining up. So all you have to do is take your nail, or a resemblance of a nail. I don't really have good nails, but you take your nail and, take that excess off. You're just, doing cosmetic change on the line. Like I said, if it was the fine glitter, it probably would have came off more cleaner. And I pull the tape away from the glitter. And then I have to just sit there and do some more cosmetic with the fingernail. Try to put some glitter in place. Either way, it doesn't matter if your line is completely straight anyway. You just want to make it resemble that, because you're going to cover it with pearls anyway, or decoration. So it's going to be somewhat hidden, but you want to make it look as straight as possible. So I'm just doing some cleanup and trying to straighten the line a little bit better. And you don't want it to completely dry yet with this step. You want it to still be so you can manipulate the glue and the glitter, but dry enough that you can handle it. As you see, I'm not putting my hand directly on the glitter spots because it's still wet, which you can tell because of the white that's underneath it. There's white spots, so that's telling you that it's still wet, because if it was dry you wouldn't see all that white spots in it. So don't touch that. Now when it's dried some more and you could really feel confident with it, I put one more layer on top of the glitter of Mod Podge. That same Mod Podge that we use. And let me tell you why. This is a decision-making part. You can either put this layer of Mod Podge on there like I did, or you could just go straight to another sealing layer, which you'll see in a few seconds after I show you this one layer. I put 2 layers of sealant on the glass because I want to make sure that the glitter doesn't come through on your fingers, or if you're washing or rinsing the glass. I want that to make sure. So I have a Mod Podge sealant on there. Now for the second sealant, see, that's what the Mod Podge looks like when it's dry on top. So you see, you still have the shine of the glitter. You're wet still, of course, but it's good enough to where I can handle it. But that is now sealed with Mod Podge. I add a second layer of sealant, and I use this triple thick. I bought it from Hobby Lobby for $6.49. I suggest you get it from Hobby Lobby as opposed to Michael's. I think Michael's might be $8 and something. But anyway, so I put a sealant of Mod Podge, and then on top of that, I put this triple thick, a layer of triple thick on there. Now let me explain why. When you put the Mod Podge sealant on there, that's good. That's good. But you can also, when it's semi-wet, you can also like press down on the glitter while the sealant's on, the first sealant's on there, and kind of flatten it out. And then the triple thick gives it a more smoother finish to me than Mod Podge. If that makes sense. If you need me to clarify more, just send me a message and I'll go more into detail with it. But definitely I do a sealant of Mod Podge, and then I cover it with the triple thick, and it gives it a smoother surface, especially when I'm doing this chunky glitter. But I do it with whether I'm doing fine also. So it really looks oatmeal-y and wet, but trust me, trust the process. I let that sit overnight, and this is what it looks like. This is with our 2 layers of chunky glitter, the layer of Mod Podge sealant, and the triple thick sealant. And I'm just showing you where it's still white because it's not 100% dry yet, but it's still dry enough where I'm touching the glitter, and the sealant makes it hard, the triple thick on top, and I still can press it down if I wanted to, but I really don't need to at this point. So what we're doing now, we're getting ready to bling out the glass. I bought these pearls off of Amazon. Of course, I'll have the link in the comments. I really like the pearls. To me, it's had that girly Barbie feel to it. I'm just going to fast forward through here. I'm applying Gem Tack. That's my go-to glue. And I'm rotating the larger pearl size with light pink and the dark pink pearls, and going around the quote-unquote neckline of the glass. And at the base of the glass, I'm doing a scatter, and it's going to go up the stem of the glass. See, so that's what it looks like with the wet Gem Tack. I'm going to go ahead and finish that out and let you see what it looks like. Okay, so this is after it's dried some. It's still wet, of course, because I have white on the glue. But I'm going to apply the decal. I use a little alcohol pad to wipe off where I want the decal to go. Clean your surface. Then I follow it up with a paper towel. You want to make sure that the decal is permanent and sticks. You're going to use your 651 permanent vinyl. Everything's looking good so far. Okay, now this is the decal that I decided on. Little Barbie. To me, that one looked more multiracial, so I used her. And the decal size is approximately 2.5 inches wide and 3 inches tall. And I came to that measurement by pre-measuring the space that I want to put it in. And I got the decal from online. I looked up Barbie decals and a Barbie logo, and then I pulled it into my Cameo 4 and cut it out. So you can just Google it. To me, it helps to cut into the decal somewhat to help it lay better. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just slicing pieces of it, not cutting the vinyl itself, but just slicing pieces off of it. I'm not the best decal layer, so bear with me. Be careful because it's sticky. And I usually just do eye placement and try not to touch the glass when you're trying to put where you want the decal to go, or else it's going to be a bugaboo to try to take off. But here we go. Just laying it, trying to eyeball it. Make it even. You want it to go in that little V shape. I laid it down, pressed in the middle, and then I'm going to go and press the sides down. Eye placement looks pretty good, like it's lined up. So I'm just carefully pressing it down. may have an air bubble in there, so I'm trying to take it out. Get my scraper tool. Looks pretty good. I think I have an air bubble in the center. I plan on putting bling on this, so it's going to be covered anyway, but the less air bubbles the better, because you want to make sure that like water doesn't get under there when you're rinsing out the glass, or so looks pretty good. Then you remove the upper layer, the plastic. Yeah, see, I saw a little air bubble. Carefully remove it. Just eyeballing it some, making sure that's where I wanted it. And that's what our decal looks like. You could stop here, but of course, you know I'm not. Got to keep going with it. A little bit more bling, just like Barbie. So I'm using 3mm pink stones to bling her out. Maybe a mixture of with 2mm to fill in some of that, but for the most part it's going to be 3mm, and I'll have a link to Decamu's boutique where I got the stones from in the comments. And what I'm going to do is rhinestone the head, the ponytail, and the name. And I'm going to add some rhinestones in between the pearls. Now the glue I choose to use to do this is the liquid fusion glue instead of the gem tag. And the only reason why is because liquid fusion goes on clear, and I want to be able to see where I'm placing the stones. Other than that, I would have been doing the gem tag. Love liquid fusion too, so I'm not talking about it, I'm just saying that's why. And so this is what it looks like after I bling the name out and bling Barbie's head. I haven't added the stones in between the pearls yet. You'll see that on the final project. Isn't that pretty? Nice and blingy Barbie. Our glue has, our base coats have dried, and look at the pearls all along the bottom. Well, I'm back. This is the final reveal of the project. All dry. The glitter, hope that light's not too bright. Blinged out with the logo. Glitter is dry to the touch. And this is with the 2 coats of glitter, 1 coat of Mod Podge, and 1 coat of the triple thick. The base is blinged. There's our glass. Now, I will tell you that I have no idea where these glasses come from. So, before you get to asking where do you purchase, I would not be able to tell you that. Joyce Elite Expressions has pretty much where she stated in all her videos that she doesn't share where they get the video or get the glass from. I honor and respect that. So she sent me this glass to use for this project, and I didn't ask. So, because I already know just from watching her videos, I'm a big fan of hers anyway. So I already know I didn't ask. So I cannot tell you where this glass comes from. However, in light of the fact that I don't have the information for this glass, I do have the information for this type of glass, which is a 20-ounce regular long stem wine glass. And just so you can see, if you can see, let me fix the light a little bit. Seems like it's glary. I used the exact same process to create this glass outside of this glass. So if I ever want to make more of these, I have access to these. So you can see they're pretty much the same. They're both 20 ounces. It's just the shape of the glass that differs. And also, when I created this, I did this little dip thing, but I just went straight across here. I could have still did the same dip or the same V shape, but I just didn't. I just preferred to do it like this one. So you can create the same look using a regular glass. So again, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe, and we will do more projects. I promise. Time just hasn't been allowing it, but however, we're going to do more different things. If you'd like to see something, let me know. Subscribe to Joyce at Elite Expressions. You'll get a whole, because she's a resin artist as well, and I try to watch it so I can try to learn something about resin, because I like to make the type of stuff she's making too, so we can all learn from each other. So thank you for watching.